we can go into another interesting round in round 6. We're still in round 6, just as we finish things up. We want to drop into the last game of our second feature match. And we picked another interesting matchup here as we've got Ahri Inquisitive and Draven Showboat. So Ahri was undefeated coming into this round. Draven does lead 1-0 in this series.
And we have now the game is most likely being started by the Ahri because of the loss, right? So we're going to have turn 1. Yeah, Grove with Godwillow, of course, it makes sense. Again, a game with Grove with Godwillow. Look at that. 2 games in a row. So we're going to be having 3 and 2. Wait, scores?
Yeah, I think we may have a slight issue with the scoreboard right now. I believe coming into this that the Ahri player that we were looking at following was undefeated. So nevertheless, we'll follow this game and we'll get an update on scores as we go through.
Because we definitely heard that there's an undefeated
I saw with my own 2 eyes on the standings that there was an Ahri undefeated. As somebody who has an off deck of Ahri, I was quite intrigued as to see how it would play in the meta with players of the RQ caliber. Meanwhile, over the other side, Draven Showboat, that is a scary set of cards in hand. Draven plus, Darius plus some spinning axes there.
That is 10 might push.
Yeah, that is really strong.
Yeah,
Titan,
here we have the Titan. It looks like it's a showdown between him and the 2 Sand Soldiers, but it's not. It's just the battlefield is just a little bit pushed to the side. So first point for Thomas over here on Draven mid-range. And I'll be honest with you, this particular matchup is not looking that great for Draven for Ahri, because you're just giving. You want your character to do something which is holding and going into battle against opponents. But unfortunately, Draven wants you to do that. So he wants to get into the fights. He wants to utilize his tools to essentially turn them into card draw. And in this case, the Spinning Axes, the Dariuses, the Cleaves, Blood Rushes, whatever you play in the Draven deck is going to convert now into card draw, because you most likely will push over the amount of defense that the Ahri will put out, unless the area has some really nasty setups being done, but without a Sona, that's probably very hard to do.
Which is fair. It is hard to do without a Sona. I know that this Ahri deck does, in the main board, play, they're in hand. Blitzcrank is one way of disrupting your opponent's battlefield, and that's what's going to happen here. Don't see a whole lot of Blitzcrank in general, but what it'll do is when you play it to a battlefield, only, it will pull an enemy unit and begin a showdown where the Blitzcrank is played. And then when Blitzcrank holds, he'll actually return back to the hand as well.
What is very important to understand about playing Blitzcrank is that it is a net negative tempo to some degree. Because depending on what is happening in the game, in this case, we're exchanging a 5-drop for a 2-drop. Because then this Blitzcrank goes back into the hand, and we're not getting, we're not getting this energy back, right? So the Defy tries to stop the Right the Wind that was trying to get another point during your opponent's turn. It's a very important Defy. Like, it's very, very important to play this right now, because otherwise Draven would have not only get the point, but then it would also trade with the potentially the Sand Soldier, because otherwise you would just be giving a card draw from the Grove of the Godwillow. That cannot happen, as we can, see in the previous match. We have seen the Grove of the Godwillow actually help the opponent so much.
Yeah, not allowed to let that happen. So, Falling Star in hand, if you care about dealing with the Blitzcrank, or do you just care about dealing with some Sand Soldiers and say, okay, we'll take both of those out?
We have the Darius, man. No, wait, no, we deramped.
Yeah, deramping is going to make that tricky. So,
yeah, deramping. We don't have any more access to Darius into the Spinning Axe. And that was potentially something that would break any of the holds, because I would attack for 9.
So if you Falling Star the Sand Soldiers...
board is essentially empty. Oh, we're killing the Blitzcrank.
It's going to be double Blitzcrank. I was going to say, Blitzcrank does return to hand, and then you don't really get the effect again. It is like going to get delayed, but nevertheless, we'll take the Blitzcrank out from the toughness. Blitzcrank also, another thing about it is it does have the tank keyword, so it does have to be assigned damage first. That's another good reason when you pull small units, they just kind of bounce off, and you just say, yep, go to the trash. I'll win that showdown.
The thing is, if you would just play the Darius, and that was one of the options, then the problem is that the Blitzcrank just pulls you in, and the Darius is a 4. and it doesn't kill the Blitzcrank. So you can't really just set up the Darius.
There's the second Blitzcrank. If at first you don't succeed, pull and pull again at this point.
Yeah, for a second I thought I'm seeing double. It's like,
no,
wait, he just got destroyed.
These are the two main board Blitzcranks. So this Golem is rolling, and it's gathering no rust as 6 runes tapped.
Never seen that coming.
No, didn't see that. 6 runes and 1 red. I wonder what that's going to be.
Well, and this hold becomes way less efficient now, because now trying to pull this with a Blitzcrank, it will trade 1 for 1.
Yes.
So you would need more support. And we are building up runes here on side of Ahri, because the Blitzcrank is costing us 1 green, so we have 3, 6, 7, if I'm not mistaken, over here. Right?
Yeah, it's 7. I'm just double checking if there are any combat tricks in hand. Like even an on guard would kind of help here, because you can pull the Forerunner in with the tank keyword.
Correct.
You'd be able to withstand the Forerunner.
But the problem is, like,
if
you do this, your opponent again has 2 more units, right?
Yeah, you're very right.
Fortunately, in case of Ahri, those 3 drops are essentially 2 drops.
2 drops, yeah, exactly. That's the other thing that's happening at all times. It's the discipline that's going to come through. So again, will allow Blitzcrank to stay alive, trades against the Ferris Forerunner. And yeah, now it's 2, 3 drops come through.
But the problem is, now you're completely tapped, and the Draven can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that is scary. Although, you know, Ahri is up at 6. That's what I was going to say. These holds, this one Sand Soldier on the other battlefield over on the Grove of the Godwiller has just been getting cards. He's like, cool, I'll guard this battlefield and just draw you a card every turn. That's all I need. And, you know, we said that a Darius plus the Spinning Axes is scary situation to be in, but if you can't play them both...
Well, now he has access to it.
Yeah, and that's basically going to be an all-in here in order to
I don't think it's even scary. It's like, okay, I'll clean both battlefields, I'll draw 2 cards, and just setting up the field as well. Potentially, now Ahri has a problem if she doesn't have a Watcher.
Yeah, which...
And even if there's a Watcher, you're only going to be able to clear one of the battlefields, and the other one is going to either draw your card or have a bigger unit.
And Ahri has been de-ramping throughout some of these turns with the Blitzcrank consistently, so it is difficult to deal with. So that will be that battlefield getting cleared out. Then, of course, we know the other one will get cleared out by the mechs as well.
So this is a bit of a problem over here.
Ahri does not stabilize particularly well from this spot. It is hard, as you said, without the without the Watcher in order to do the Singularity won't get the job done here because the Darius is too strong at this point.
Also, good sequencing, wanted to just call it out. Thomas over here could have attacked 1 by 1 because in theory in every other deck that would have made no difference. Right, he would still attack with a 2-might into a 2-might trade and then conquer with the second mech. But in case of Draven, you want to attack together because then you are actually winning combat.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very, very good point. So I think that Hazukashi's main goal now is restock a base with as many units as you can and try on the next turn to double conquer. But it's only the one
Student Pass.
Student Pass doesn't even play the Ahri from the Chosen Champion zone. So I wonder whether that is going to end up being too slow now, not playing it this previous turn.
But why do we save so much energy? What is the play?
What is the play?
Yeah, I'm curious now.
Oh, you're actually asking. I thought you knew what the play was.
No, I have
Because I'm trying to think of what is that much energy worth on my opponent's turn. Right? That was exactly my question, is like, you're saving this energy for something.
Yeah, but I'm not certain what for. Is like, what is the point exactly right now?
I guess, is the point, do you not want to deramp? It's 2, 4, 6. You've got 8, you're going up to 10.
But your opponent is going to just... No, you cannot leave the battlefields because your opponent can have a Watcher into double conquer, right? So now the fan is set up to essentially play around at least the Watcher to some degree.
Yeah.
We have another set of Spinning Axe and a Ride the Wind, which can hold points, essentially, in case if you use the Ride the Wind during your opponent's turn. So Rocket Barrage to
deal with the Spinning Axe?
To deal with the Spinning Axe.
Because then you're going to Singularity on the back end, is my assumption.
The Student goes up to 3.
Yeah, Student goes up to 3. So you're, I guess, looking to Singularity, Darius, and the mech.
Yeah, the
so
problem
that
is
the-
there's another spinning axe.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. The problem here is spinning axe, and you've just tapped out everything. You kind of have to at this point in order to make it work. So Darius is not going to fall here.
That is a crazy position right now, because not only you have a live Darius, but also now you can try defeating the opponent here with the Darius if you just do the right to the wind.
Yeah, exactly. Although, yeah,
Although
I mean,
that would not get him a point,
wouldn't get-
because he's gonna just join
be
the
hol-
surprise
yeah, exactly. He'd be
as a
holding
surprise
already.
defender to some
Yeah.
degree. So maybe it's not worth it. And now the Darius can go back to base. We play any two cards, readies, goes into Grove of the God Willow.
And then on your opponent's turn,
yeah,
you can ensure you're going to hold. Like, if you
Exactly.
have to ride the wind to a different battlefield to
you
just
will draw a card for having
Exactly,
to conquer
but
like
then you
from
might
7.
set up to hold
Exactly.
safely on the other turn, as it's going to be... It's not Darius and Draven that are showing up as a duo in this. It is just two Darius. No one needs the brothers at this point. It is just going to be two Darius, one conquering each battlefield. That is going to put Thomas at
7.
basically the point, the winning point for the next turn. And I don't really know if there's anything that an Ahri player can pull here in order to do it.
Double trump to base.
Watch. You're convinced it's the best play. It's the best play in the game.
It's horrible, man. It's not even does anything.
I think was there a Singularity in hand? Without that spinning axe, you'd be feeling great. I mean, Singularity plus like a smoke screen or something? Anything? Singularity and just something?
Is that even... Wait. What
Is that against the odds? It is against the odds to pull the other one. Read the card. It's going to say give extra might, and it's going to go to the other Darius. So both Darius will...
No.
Oh, wait. Hang on. What did I miss?
No, you didn't miss anything. The against the odds works when there's opponent at the
It's
battlefield.
per opponent, right?
Yeah, per opponent, of course.
Exactly. The
So-
charm back to the base.
Come on. That's
I
so
love
funny.
this.
Okay.
Those of you that missed it, we're laughing because Lothar earlier in the day went down a rabbit hole on it, and
yeah, and then it turns out
something
it
else
was,
happened.
it was not the best play,
But
definitely.
sometimes it's a thing that'll
Sometimes
keep
it
you
has to
there.
happen, you know? It actually happened twice now
Yeah, it
during
has.
the day, you know?
I think it validates you, actually. I think you can be
Kinda, a little
vindicated.
bit, yeah. Although that one with the first attempt of charm to base was just that was anyway. Yeah. Okay. So do we have a follow-up? Yes, we do.
Yeah,
and that's the double
there's
conquer,
cleave,
and the
there's
game
the
goes
fist
out.
bump. And that is Thomas advancing in round 6. Looks like he will pick up the 4th win of the day. Against the odds.
Staying alive.
Just wanted to flex. Against the odds stays in the tournament as well, as that is the end of round 6 for us. It's been an interesting day.
I wanted to just quickly summarize this game.
Yeah.
So what I feel like that actually it kind of went exactly how I explained it before. Blitzcrank was effective.
Yeah.
It was getting you card value, but the problem is it was not getting you tempo value. And you actually, when you think about it, we had two times Blitzcrank getting a Tide Runner, which is 10 energy and 2 power being spent to kill 2 units.
Right.
Then it sets up defenses, but because we are tapping out and we're still potentially getting the Blitzcrank back into the hand, a Darius with a spinning axe or a cleave just is a complete blowout. And we are not able to come back into those games typically.
Yeah, that's a massive difference. And that's a very fair point about the way that the tempo played out. And we'll keep up our tempo by going over to an interview with Barcode.